Disillusioned at the slow pace of climate change negotiations, thousands marched through central Durban.
I want government to stop polluting and create jobs for people and stop doing what they're busy with. They sit in big conferences spending huge amounts of money while the poor must suffer the consequences.
Outside the conference centre, where talks will soon enter their second week, they delivered a petition demanding fast action to the UN's senior figure here.
Thank you for coming. Stay with us.
Earlier, Christiana Figueres acknowledged the concerns of civil society.
They're legitimate concerns in the sense that governments do have the responsibility to take a leadership role. But I must say it is not only governments that have that responsibility. Nobody is exempted from that responsibility. That responsibility must be shared by the private sector, by businesses. It must also be shared by civil society as well.
For campaigners, many from the poorest countries worst affected by climate change, the time has passed for fine words.
With the Durban negotiations seemingly unlikely to make any real progress, civil society groups like these are preparing for the worst. There are many people here who feel the negotiating process has run its course, that the only voices politicians should be listening to are the people's.
In Durban, there are huge obstacles to saving what remains of the Kyoto Protocol, aimed at reducing global warming. The politicians will also try to deliver funding for poor countries and a roadmap towards an international deal on emissions cuts, perhaps by 2015. The worry for climate campaigners is that a roadmap is of little use if the talks themselves have run out of road. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, Durban.
Thailand is known to be a major receiving country for migrant workers, mostly from Myanmar and Cambodia, looking for a better future. But when the worst floods in 50 years hit the country, some migrant workers were immediately fired, losing their legal status to stay in Thailand. The migrant workforce accounts for about 2 million people, legal and illegal. It is estimated that about 100,000 impoverished workers from Myanmar have returned home. Activists say that half of them voluntarily, the other half were deported after losing their work permits.
Many deported migrants are trying to get back, as Thailand will go through a massive reconstruction period and will need a cheap labour force. New migrants are also hoping for work. They seek to make their way over the border. They are turning to the old smuggling routes, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation.
Many migrants have lost their jobs and housing to floods, with no other choice left than trying to return back to their country since their factories closed. Activists say that many faced extortion and abuse along the way. Thai regulation bans registered migrants from leaving their province of employment, but when escaping floods, many forgot the law and were later subject to deportation. As for those who stayed in flooded areas, many complained to NGOs that they were excluded from relief efforts and have received little help.
At my age, I cannot think of returning back to my country. My family has lost everything thanks to migrant association. We finally found this shelter for victims until we find a solution.
Although the water level has fallen in many areas, it has not receded enough for some to return home. But migrants living in precarious conditions face a threat of disease from dirty water. Some migrants and their children are suffering from diarrhea. While the Thai government has conducted medical surveillance among the local population, illegal migrants scared of being deported were taken care of by NGOs' mobile clinics when their areas become accessible. The United Nations spoke out and expressed its concern about the lack of support for migrants during the floods. Thailand relies heavily on migrant workers. Activists believe that the government won't have any choices other than that it legalizes those who have stayed and brings back through legal channels those who left to mitigate the devastating floods' effect on the economy. Sonia Laboon, Press TV, Bangkok.
What's up, guys? Joey B here with another Earth Changes update for Saturday, December 3rd, 2011. And this article here reads, Mud volcano in Taiwan expels mud up 2 meters deep. I'll link you up with that in the description box below. And before I forget, actually, I want to thank Jean-Marc for your donation. Thanks, brother. Merci, mon homme. And it says here, 5.3 magnitude earthquake strikes near Wellington, New Zealand. More volcanic news here. Somerset official warns gas exploration project in Mendip could awaken massive volcano. And I received a message from a subscriber recently. Pretty sure it was Frank. I might be mistaken. But he was talking about how a lot of these fracking and gas exploration projects could lead to awakening all these volcanoes, even ones that we thought were extinct. And it's just ironic that I come across this article today because he had just sent me some info on that. So that's pretty crazy. Good work, Frank. Drop in carbon dioxide levels led to polar ice sheet, study finds. A drop in carbon dioxide appears to be the driving force that led to the Antarctic ice sheet's formation, according to a recent study led by scientists at Yale and Purdue Universities of molecules from ancient algae found in deep sea core samples. EU launches new €6.5 billion fund to slash overfishing. And this was another interesting article I wanted to randomly include in here. And it reads, Caltech-led team of astronomers finds 18 new planets. And I had been reporting on all these planets they've been finding in recent months. And it's just astounding. And they acknowledge that here, as it says, discoveries of new planets just keep coming and coming. Take, for instance, the 18 recently found by a team of astronomers led by scientists at the California Institute of Technology. And that's over there at Caltech. And it says here it's the largest single announcement of planets aside from the discoveries made by the Kepler mission, says John Johnson, assistant professor of astronomy at Caltech and the first author of the team's paper, which was published in the December issue of the Astrophysical Journal supplement series. The Kepler mission is a space telescope that has so far identified more than 1,200 possible planets, though the majority of those have not yet been confirmed. Using the Keck Observatory in Hawaii, with follow-up observations using the McDonald and Fairborn observatories in Texas and Arizona, respectively, the researchers surveyed about 300 stars. They focused on those dubbed retired, a type stars that are more than 1.5 times size the mass of the sun. These stars are just past the main stage of their life, hence retired, and are now puffing up into what's called a subgiant star. To look for planets, the astronomers searched for stars of this type that wobble, which could be caused by the gravitational tug of an orbiting planet. See what they're setting up here, folks? By searching the wobbly stars, spectra for Doppler shifts, the lightening and contracting of wavelengths due to motion away from and toward the observer, the team found 18 planets with masses similar to Jupiter's. And it says here, this new bounty marks a 50% increase in the number of known planets orbiting massive stars, and according to Johnson, provides an invaluable population of planetary systems for understanding how planets and our own solar system might form. The researchers say that the findings also lend further support to the theory that planets grow from seed particles that accumulate gas and dust in a disk surrounding a newborn star. Climate-smart agriculture should be livelihood-smart too. Encouraging climate-smart agriculture can lead to climate change adaptation practices in a partnership where the farmers' needs are addressed. And I couldn't agree with that statement more. I'll link you guys up with this article in the description box below the video. Okay, we had a drought in Switzerland. And by the way, I'm over here on the RSOE, Emergency Disaster and Information Service. And I'm reading the event summary for a drought in Switzerland today, Saturday the 3rd of December, 2011. And as you can see, the moderate level's 3 out of a possible 5. Or the damage level's moderate, 3 out of a possible 5, sorry. And it says here it's in the area across the Alps. So I'll link you guys up with that for anyone who's interested. And I just wanted to remind you that after reporting on the drought in Switzerland, that we've also got the drought in multi-countries that I reported on yesterday. And this is ongoing, and there's actually a situation update from today. But if you remember, it's in the Danube River Basin, and it's in the countries of Hungary, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania. Okay, and there's a situation update that you can come and click as well. So I'll link you up with that in the description box below. Okay, we're over here on the European and Mediterranean Seismological Center, and we're going to take a look at the earthquakes around the world very quickly. And starting off, obviously, to start things off, 3.6 in eastern Turkey, 3.8 in Romania, 4.7 in eastern Turkey, 3.0 in eastern Turkey, and I'm not going to report on any of those minor ones. 5.0 Lake Rudolph region of Kenya, Ethiopia. And the swarms just continue over there in Turkey and Greece, as you can see here. And 4.5 near the coast of northern Peru. And a 3.2 in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Now we'll go ahead and click the next page. And if we take a look, we can see a 5.0 at the Cook Strait in New Zealand. 3.0 eastern Turkey. 4.8 near the east coast of Honshu, Japan. Another 3 in Turkey. 4.4 northern East Pacific Rise. 3.5 in eastern Turkey. A couple minor quakes over in Switzerland. 5.6 east of Barbuda in the Leeward Islands. 4.3 in Krikstan. 5.1 off the coast of Antofagasta, Chile. And 5.1 near the north coast of Papua, Indonesia. So moving up along here, we've got a 3.8 in the Kuril Islands. Some more swarms in Turkey here, a couple 3s. Greece, obviously, in Turkey, but that whole area is still getting smashed with tremors. And 3.5 in eastern Turkey there, 3.2 in Greece, and they just continue over there. And even if I scroll down, you can see that they continue up in that region. You can see here, and there's a 3.6 in Greece as well. 3.3 southern Greece, 3.5 Greece, and all the Turkeys in there in between. If we keep going up here, we've got a 4.8 on the Babuyan Island region of the Philippines. Okay, we're over here on the USGS to take a look at North America. And we've got a 2.9 on the island of Hawaii. So the tremors still continuing over there. The average swarms over here in Alaska continue. 2.9 southern Alaska, magnitude 3 southern Alaska. There's a significant one, 4.4 over in southern Alaska, and a 2.9 central Alaska, and many other smaller swarms, as you can see. We've got a 2.4 in British Columbia, Canada, and a 2.2 in Puget Sound region of Washington. The swarms continue as usual on the west coast of the United States. 2.8 in Central California, 2.9 in the Channel Islands region of California, and a bunch of other minor swarms. We can see here we've got a 4.4 in the northern East Pacific Rise. I already reported on that area. And we got a 2.7 over in Oklahoma, a 3.1 in Virginia, and a 1.7 over in Maine. And you see all these minor quakes along this whole rift that extends down into the New Madrid. And who knows what that symbolizes? I mean, I'm not a geological expert. I'd be purely speculating, but I'm going to keep an eye on that area. I've reported on it many times. And anyhow, that's all I got for today, my friends. This is Joey B signing off. Take care.